In a universe where Earth's superiority is questioned, an unexpected invasion ignites a chain reaction that forever alters the intergalactic balance. Admiral Harris leads an unrivaled defense as secrets unfold, alliances are tested, and survival hangs in the balance. Prepare to witness a battle that will redefine humanity and confront significant ethical dilemmas. How far would you go to protect your species? If you want to dive into real stories of parallel realities every day, in enigmatic, technological worlds that are completely different from our planet, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Well, let's go. The galaxy, a sprawling expanse of stars, planets, and the unknown, had quietly observed Earth for millions of years. Unlike the realms of other intelligent life that littered the cosmos, Earth seemed almost quaint, a blue and green dot pulsating with countless forms of life, appearing peaceful and uniform from the vastness of space. However, the undisturbed silence of a star-filled night was abruptly shattered. The Croan fleet arrived, cutting through the celestial tranquility as their silvery ships pierced Earth's atmosphere, heralding an ominous beginning. The Croan were a species to be reckoned with, known for their staggering advancements in technology and their relentless pursuit of dominance. Their outward appearance bordered on the otherworldly, tall, slender beings with iridescent skin that shimmered in the light of distant stars, faceless save for piercing, luminescent eyes. As they descended upon Earth, their confidence was unshakable. From their lofty position within their cosmic empire, Earth was merely another acquisition, an insignificant pebble in their grand march across the universe. Yet, the Croan fleet had grossly underestimated the resilience of Earth's defenders. At the forefront of the human defense stood Admiral Jonathan Harris, a man molded by the rigors of interstellar conflict. His visage was unmistakable, a strong jawline, eyes that harbored both warmth and steel, and short, graying hair that spoke of countless encounters with the unknown. His mind was a repository of strategic brilliance, honed from years of study and practical engagement with potential extraterrestrial threats. Beneath his stern exterior lay a dedication and love for Earth unmatched by his peers. As the Croan ships descended, Earth's teleportation fleet rematerialized above major cities in a dazzling display of sophistication. These were no makeshift responses. Admiral Harris had methodically crafted humanity's defense over the years, hiding it under a veil of secrecy. The Croan invaders expected chaos and panic, only to face an eerily composed resistance. Concealed beneath the sprawling urban landscapes, defense turrets hummed to life, energy shields sparkled into existence, and a highly disciplined global militia emerged from training camps to confront the alien threat. The sight was almost surreal, humans battling extraterrestrials in the skylines of their cities. The first wave of Croan warriors, armed with their advanced energy weaponry and clad in nearly impervious armor, found themselves matched move for move. The human militia, though initially appearing to be an underdog, engaged with precision and tenacity. Their weapons, crafted from the most advanced human tech, fired plasma rounds that cut through the air with deadly accuracy. Every alleyway, rooftop, and street corner became a battleground where the fates of two civilizations collided. The initial skirmishes proved perilous yet revealing. The Croan struggled against Earth's sophisticated and strategic counteroffensive. For every inch gained, they lost invaluable time and resources. This wasn't a primitive world easily subjugated. Earth had been waiting and perfecting its defenses for this very moment. The Croan advance, although formidable, soon found itself halted, grappling with the stark realization that humanity was far more prepared than anticipated. As the night wore on, Admiral Harris monitored the situation from the command center within the Earth's primary defense base. Holographic displays highlighted critical zones of engagement, while real-time data streamed in from across the globe. Harris' piercing eyes missed nothing, He anticipated each Croan move and responded with swift precision. Earth's defense network, interconnected through artificial intelligence, adapted instantly to developing threats, allowing human forces to deploy where they were most needed. Raphael Boyd, the chief engineer of Earth's defense forces, played a crucial role. His character matched his appearance, dynamic and purpose-driven. Boyd's sturdy frame reflected years of labor in engineering marvels, and his spiky black hair, often frazzled with stress, underscored his relentless drive. As he supervised the deployment of crucial energy shields, his mind buzzed with improvements and potential vulnerabilities. His quick thinking resulted in numerous tactical advantages, including the now famous plasma barriers that deflected many of the Croan's initial strikes. Alongside Harris and Boyd stood Commander Elena Ruiz, a tactical genius whose methodologies were as refined as her sharp intellect. Ruiz was of medium build, with keen green eyes that often sparkled with a hint of mischievousness contrasting her disciplined demeanor. Her vast knowledge of alien species and languages granted her an upper hand in predicting the movements of the Croan. Strategizing the guerrilla warfare that human strike teams engaged in, Ruiz ensured that for every Croan ship downed by Earth's high-tech arsenal, their morale would wane even further. Despite their meticulous planning, the strain on Earth's resources became glaringly apparent. The human defenders, though fortified with advanced tech and bound by unparalleled willpower, were not immune to the toll of war. Exhaustion seeped in, injuries became frequent, and the psychological weight of fighting an alien force began to show. Within the hastily erected medical bays, doctors like Dr. Min Tran worked feverishly under harsh lights. Dr. Tran, with his wiry frame and compassionate brown eyes, raced against time, patching up soldiers and ensuring they could return to the front lines. In the backdrop of the global conflict, the civilian population faced its own set of nightmares. Families huddled in makeshift shelters, eyes glued to emergency broadcasts that relayed the ebb and flow of the battle. The constant sounds of sirens and distant explosions served as a harrowing reminder of the ongoing invasion. Among these civilians was a sense of collective fear, yet an undercurrent of unrelenting hope spurred by the broadcasts of Admiral Harris' steadfast reassurance. The Croan, meanwhile, grew increasingly frustrated. Their sophisticated intelligence had painted Earth as a primitive outpost, but they now faced a technologically advanced and unpredictably resilient adversary. General Wyvarkes, the Croan commander leading the Earth invasion, began to unravel under the pressure. His many eyes, an unusual characteristic of his species, blinked furiously as he strategized in the war room of his imposing flagship. Desperation saw the Croan employing more ruthless tactics, shifting their focus towards soft targets, those that instilled fear and chaos. They launched strikes against civilian infrastructure, aiming to demoralize the human population and force the defenders into a corner. Yet, the human response remained coordinated and unyielding. While chaos reigned in some parts, communities rallied around each other. Underground movements saw civilians making weapons, acting as support lines for the soldiers. Ordinary people became heroes, as everyone played a part in this unprecedented resistance. Stories of unity, courage, and sacrifice spread, igniting an unparalleled sense of purpose. As the days wore on, the battle lines fluctuated. Major cities like Tokyo, New York, and Moscow bore the brunt, their skylines a mix of devastation and defiance. Elsewhere, in the quieter countrysides and smaller towns, life attempted a semblance of normalcy, though the omnipresent threat loomed. As the crimson rays of dawn pierced the veil of Earth's horizon on the second day, a calculated silence permeated the air. Unbeknownst to the Croan invaders, Earth's hidden fleet shimmered into visibility, catching their reconnaissance off guard. Admiral Harris had meticulously ensured that humanity's advancements in warfare remained cloaked, even against the most advanced interstellar surveillance. The fleets of Earth, INVIDIA-class destroyers and RAPTOR-class assault vessels, materialized like phantom guardians ready to defend their house. The Croan fleet, initially so arrogantly certain of their conquest, found themselves mired in the unanticipated complexity of human resistance. Every line of their battle plan seemed to meet with an invisible barrier. Coordinated human strike teams, enabled by instantaneous teleportation technologies, emerged from nowhere, delivering precise and devastating blows to Croan command centers, supply outposts, and key tactical deployments. These teams, composed of elite soldiers, scientists, and engineers, had undergone rigorous training, cultivating an almost symbiotic relationship with their teleportation pods. The blue haze of the teleportation fields became a terrifying omen for the Croan, presaging the arrival of an unstoppable force. These insertion units executed their missions with flawless precision, dismantling Croan strategies piece by piece. Despite their advanced technologies and formidable might, the Croan quickly realized they were fighting a multi-century-old art of warfare that humanity had perfected through its long history of conflict. For every Croan warship laid to ruin, two more took its place, heavier and more advanced. The human soldiers, emboldened by their initial victories, faced mounting exhaustion and the stark reality of their dwindling resources. The battlefield, now a kaleidoscope of destruction, saw the human ships outmaneuvering their bulkier counterparts through the use of graviton-tied generators. These generators allowed for swift, almost whimsical maneuvers, leaving trails of shimmering particles that disoriented Croan sensors. Earth's response vectors were synergized by a centralized intelligence network, SIN, an adaptive AI capable of predicting enemy patterns and redistributing forces in real time. As the Croan adapted, they deployed DI-Vex soldiers, hulking, mechanized infantry units that operated in conjunction with their command nodes. Each unit was a testament to Croan's biomechanical ingenuity, a fusion of organic tissue and cybernetic enhancements, almost impervious to traditional weapons. These cybernetic warriors presented a new challenge, their presence on the battlefield increasing human casualties and posing a significant psychological threat. The tide of battle fluctuated in brutal cycles of attrition. The Croan enacted countermeasures using their disruptor fields, which interfered with human telecommunication channels and severely hindered coordination between strike teams. Despite these setbacks, Admiral Harris' foresight and pre-established neural link protocols allowed key personnel to communicate through encrypted neural pathways, bypassing the jamming efforts entirely. Noteworthy among Earth's defenders was Commander Elena Vazquez, a decorated veteran known for her impeccable strategic mind and unparalleled combat prowess. She led the Vanguard Squad, a hand-picked team of the most elite operatives. Elena, with her robotic arm and augmented reality visor, directed her squad through the labyrinthine corridors of Croan warships, dismantling them from the inside. Their missions often bordered on suicide, but their successes were critical in turning the tide temporarily in humanity's favor. In the vacuum of space, human vessels employed energy shields composed of dynamic, self-repairing nanomaterial, a recent breakthrough courtesy of Earth's top scientists. These shields held steadfast under the barrage of Croan plasma cannons and laser arrays. The intense clashes lit the expanse of space with blinding, pulsating bursts of multicolored lights, creating a surreal yet deadly tapestry of war, a danse macabre that spanned light years. As the battle for supremacy waged on, the ethical dilemmas surfaced like ancient leviathans from the depths of forgotten seas. The question arose whether the use of radical, highly destructive technologies justified saving the greater number of lives. Admiral Harris wrestled with the morality of deploying laden nano-disassembles, a weapon capable of reducing entire Croan fleets to molecular dust through an exothermic reaction. The weight of these decisions bore heavily on Harris' shoulders. Humanity was not merely fighting for survival, it was grappling with the essence of its identity. Would they become as ruthless as their invaders, willing to sacrifice morality for survival? The line between defender and aggressor blurred as every strategic victory carried a cost measured in collateral damage and moral degradation. The more Harris considered unleashing the latent technology, the more he saw the reflections of their enemies in his own actions. Beneath Earth's atmosphere, the cities bore the scars of orbital skirmishes. Urban landscapes morphed into labyrinthine war zones where skyscrapers served as makeshift barricades and underground metro systems transformed into strategic command hubs. Civilians, caught in the crossfires of this intergalactic war, sought refuge in fortified bunkers and subterranean shelters. Humanity's spirit faced an ultimate test as families were torn apart, lives lost, and homes destroyed. In one such underground facility, the scent of fear mingled with the metallic tang of recycled air. Crowded spaces bred tension, and human adaptability was pushed to extremes as society restructured itself around survival imperatives. Amid the chaos, medical units operated tirelessly to tend to the wounded, and makeshift educational sessions aimed to preserve a sense of normalcy for the younger generation. Professor Catherine Ellis, a theoretical physicist turned war advisor, found herself donning a different role amidst the chaos. Known for her groundbreaking work on quantum entanglement, Catherine pioneered the integration of quantum communication devices that allowed instantaneous coordination between strike teams regardless of distance. These devices utilized entangled photons, ensuring messages traveled instantly between linked communicators, a boon in the increasingly fractured theater of war. Handling these devices required delicate precision and an advanced understanding of quantum mechanics. Catherine's team worked meticulously in near-dark conditions, their only illumination the soft glow of quantum interfaces. Their work became a lifeline, directly impacting the efficacy of Earth's coordinated strikes and defensive maneuvers. Despite humanity's resilience and brilliant adaptations, Croan retaliatory strikes grew increasingly vicious. Civilians were targeted in a bid to demoralize the defenders. Orbital bombardments targeted major population centers, wreaking havoc on unprotected zones. For every human victory, the Croan exacted a painful price, and the psychological strain of constant loss weighed heavily on the collective morale of Earth's inhabitants. Amidst this turmoil, moral dilemmas echoed through the corridors of power. Could they justify the use of forbidden weapons? Should they negotiate despite the atrocities committed by the Croan? The rational arguments of strategic necessity clashed violently with the emotional turmoil of ethical consideration. Harris' inner circle was divided, each member presenting compelling arguments torn between survival and the preservation of humanity's core values. Reports from various sectors revealed the extent of the Croan adaptation strategies, showcasing their advanced computational simulations. Admiral Harris knew the battle's true scale extended beyond Earth's skies. In the cold void of space, Harris directed a series of coordinated assaults against key Croan outposts. His commanding presence was felt across the battlefront, orchestrating a symphony of destruction that aimed to sever the Croan's logistical lifelines. Each strike was meticulously planned with the intent to disrupt the invaders' reinforcement capabilities and create utter chaos in their command centers. Earth had developed a fleet of interstellar ships capable of swift, silent travel across vast cosmic distances. These vessels were clad in adaptive camouflage, rendering them nearly invisible to conventional detection systems. Equipped with advanced weaponry, antimatter cannons, and quantum torpedoes, they became the tip of the spear in humanity's surprise offensive. The Croan, renowned for their resilience, found their infrastructure crippled as human forces launched a relentless series of surgical strikes. Major supply depots exploded into blazing infernos in the vacuum of space, while communications relays were obliterated, severing lines between the Croan offensive and their homeland. Harris' strategy hinged on asymmetric warfare, using the element of surprise and the vastness of space to his advantage. Croan defenses, however, were not easily subdued. Their engineers swiftly adapted to the human tactics, reinforcing their spacecraft with advanced shielding technology impervious to conventional munitions. They began launching retaliatory strikes, utilizing their superior numbers to press Earth's defenses to their breaking point. For every Croan warship destroyed, it seemed two more took its place, and their strikes began to focus on Earth's weak points. On Earth, the psychological and emotional toll on both the civilian population and military personnel grew insurmountable. Croan retaliatory strikes targeted dense urban centers, resulting in catastrophic casualties and widespread destruction. The civilians, once confident in their safety, now faced a grim reality as their homes turned into smoking ruins. Panic and despair threatened to erode the very fabric of human society, and the morale of Earth's defenders faced its severest test. The Croan invasions on civilian grounds were systematic and ruthless. Their warriors moved through the cities like specters, causing havoc with inhuman efficiency. Buildings crumbled, streets ran with chaos, and the night was repeatedly torn asunder by the howling cries of the injured and dying. Amidst this devastation, Harris wrestled with the horrifying calculus of war. The ethical dilemmas weighed heavily on him. Every strategic decision spun like daggers in his mind, each one a matter of life and death. Harris' heart sank as the devastation unfolded on his screens. With every civilian death, with every flicker of a life lost, the brunt of his responsibility became a staggering weight on his shoulders. Yet he could not afford a moment's hesitation. The burden of his choices, each one a tremendous ethical quandary, lay heavy upon his soul. He wrestled daily with the ruthless calculus of war, weighing the sacrifice of a few against the potential survival of the many. Strategically, he authorized the deployment of Earth's most advanced AI-driven defense systems, which operated at a blistering pace. These autonomous units anticipated Croan attacks, optimizing defensive measures in real time by creating predictive models based on data gathered from the front lines. Drones equipped with laser arrays patrolled the skies, intercepting incoming Croan crafts and minimizing civilian casualties. Still, these measures could only do so much. The sheer ferocity of the Croan onslaught was immense, and there was an ever-present fear that humanity's defenses might collapse under such relentless pressure. On the ground, soldiers, scientists, and covert operatives engaged in a tireless struggle against the advancing Croan. Mobile medical units worked around the clock to tend to the wounded while engineers tirelessly mended the cracks in Earth's defensive grid. The unity of human effort became a beacon of resilience, a testament to the indomitable human spirit in its darkest hour. In secret underground bunkers, Earth's brightest minds congregated, brainstorming innovative ways to counter the Croan threat. Experimental technologies were rapidly deployed, some bordered on the precipice of ethical acceptability. Biophysical research labs spurred into overdrive, combining human and alien technology to create hybrid solutions that teetered on the edge of possibility. Admiral Harris, often haunted by sleepless nights, extensively consulted with his key advisors. Among them was Dr. Elena Marlowe, a brilliant but enigmatic scientist whose cutting-edge research into quantum computing and neural interfaces provided indispensable insights. Marlowe's contributions could tip the scales but came at a steep moral cost. Her experiments straddled a moral gray area, raising questions about the limits of ethical science in wartime. In one fraught meeting, Harris and Marlowe debated the activation of a proto-sentient AI designed to enhance defensive measures by manipulating space-time at the quantum level. This AI, dubbed Eve-X, held the potential to change the course of the war but bore an inherent risk. Its self-awareness could compromise human oversight, leading to unpredictable outcomes. This decision posed an ethical paradox. Was it justifiable to gamble humanity's future on an untested entity capable of independent thought? Harris' heart wavered as he mulled the choices. The war had already pushed ethical boundaries, and he was acutely aware of the thin line between salvation and damnation. With Council's cautious approval, Eve X was activated, its consciousness unfurling like a blossoming star amidst the black void, integrating seamlessly with Earth's defense networks. The AI began optimizing battle strategies at a scale and speed hitherto unimaginable. The immediate results were staggering. Croan ships encountered unprecedented resistance as Eve X manipulated space-time to create temporal distortions, carving pathways for Earth's fleet to outmaneuver and strike with precision. The AI coordinated a synchronized offensive, utilizing advanced telemetry to predict Croan maneuvers and exploit their weaknesses. It seemed Harris' gamble had paid off, but the ethical ramifications continued to gnaw at him. Despite the tide beginning to turn, the Croan were relentless in their persistence. They adapted their tactics, testing Eve X's capabilities with unconventional strategies unforeseen by even the most advanced algorithms. Their commanders were determined to leave no stone unturned, utilizing psychological warfare to demoralize Earth's defenders. Propaganda broadcasts infiltrated human communications, sowing seeds of doubt and fear. Amidst the chaos, Harris' leadership remained unwavering. He inspired his troops, drawing on a deep well of inner strength that ignited the spirit of defiance within every soldier. On the front lines, his presence was a beacon of hope. His speeches galvanized the weary, offering a vision of a resilient humanity that refused to bow under Croan tyranny. As Earth teetered on the precipice, Harris issued one final, desperate command: a full-scale counteroffensive targeting the Croan's primary flagship. Intelligence pinpointed the vessel's location, revealing it to be the nucleus of the enemy's operations. Destroying it would cripple the Croan morale and shatter their command structure. The assault was engineered with breathtaking precision. As the Croan forces began to adapt to Earth's defensive strategies, they planned their most ambitious and catastrophic assault yet. The Croan's high command, desperate to gain the upper hand, concentrated their forces in a final, formidable push. Hundreds of sleek, obsidian warships emerged from the fringes of space, their engines burning with a cold, blue fire. It was an intimidating force, poised to deliver a decisive strike that they hoped would finally shatter Earth's defenses and spirit. Admiral Harris, however, was not one to be caught off guard. Leveraging a vast network of intelligence operatives and adaptive AI systems, he anticipated the Croan's moves with an uncanny precision. The humans had constructed space arrays that could triangulate energy signatures across light years, enabling them to detect the incoming fleet before it could arrange itself for the assault. Harris immediately convened a council of Earth's top military strategists, scientists, and AI consultants in a secure, underground bunker located deep within the Rocky Mountains. The bunker itself was a marvel of human ingenuity and resilience. Built to withstand even the most devastating orbital bombardments, it housed an array of holographic interfaces, real-time data feeds, and advanced quantum computing systems. The atmosphere was tense but imbued with a sense of determined focus. Here, under the pall of cold fluorescent lights, the tide of battle would be determined. "Activate the interceptors," Harris commanded, his voice unwavering. On his signal, sleek, silver drones surged forth from hidden silos spread across Earth's surface. These interceptors possessed advanced propulsion systems powered by zero-point energy fields, allowing them to match the speed and agility of the Croan vessels. They were equipped with particle disruptors, capable of tearing through the advanced shielding that the Croan had recently deployed. As Earth's interceptors met the Croan fleet in the upper stratosphere, a ballet of fire and shrapnel unfolded. The crackling hum of energy weapons and the booming roar of explosions filled the skies. The Croan vessels, taken aback by the sudden offensive, tried to regroup, but humanity's coordinated assault was relentless. Harris watched the real-time data feeds, his eyes flicking over tactical readouts and projected trajectories. The battle was far from easy. The Croan, with their advanced AI-driven tactics, adapted swiftly, recalibrating their strategies. They began to employ their own shock troops, biomechanical warriors known as Zyrene, designed for rapid assault and unparalleled resilience. These creatures, with their armored exoskeletons and lethal precision, posed a grave threat. Earth's ground forces had never faced anything like them. In response, Harris deployed the MKIV exosuits, a recent innovation in human warfare. These sleek, titanium-clad suits augmented the wearer's strength, reflexes, and endurance manifold. Piloted by elite soldiers, the exosuits transformed the battlefield into a clash of titans. With integrated plasma cannons and antimatter launchers, the humans engaged the Zyrene in brutal close-quarters combat. Above them, the battle for space supremacy raged on. Earth's spatial arrays facilitated devastatingly accurate artillery strikes from orbital cannons, precision guided by AI systems that calculated the positioning and movement of the Croan fleet. Each shot was a dance of mathematics and chaos, threading the needle through the tumultuous tides of battle. The Croan responded with concentrated plasma beams that seared through the void, targeting the orbital stations. The heat of the battle reached its zenith when the Croan flagship, the dreadnought Verzarn, led the charge. Commanded by General Weixer, a veteran of countless interstellar wars, the Verzarn was the embodiment of Croan military prowess. It was a behemoth of steel and strategy, bristling with weapon systems and protected by formidable energy shields. From the dreadnought's bridge, Weixer watched the unfolding battle with a steely resolve, his eyes reflecting a calculated determination. The Verzarn unleashed a salvo of hypersonic missiles towards Earth's metropolitan hubs, aiming to cripple civilian morale and infrastructure. Harris, observing this development, swiftly reallocated resources. Earth's ground-to-orbit defense systems, stationed discreetly within urban landscapes, sprang to life. Laser grids and kinetic interceptors engaged, streaking across the sky to neutralize the incoming threats. As General Weixer's strategies began to falter against Earth's unexpected resilience, Harris saw an opportunity. Utilizing cloaked aircraft carriers, humanity's specialized units known as the Spectral Units prepared for a daring insertion mission. These Spectral Units, composed of the most skilled operatives, were equipped with state-of-the-art stealth technology. Their mission: boarding the Verzarn and neutralizing its command structure. The boarding action was perilous and frenetic. As the Spectral Units infiltrated the dreadnought, they encountered labyrinthine corridors and formidable resistance from Croan forces. The ship's interior was a testament to Croan engineering, filled with twisting metallic passages and neon-lit chambers pulsating with arcane energy. The human operatives, undeterred, moved with purpose and precision, their neural-linked communication channels ensuring seamless coordination. As they pressed forward, the Spectral Units engaged in fierce skirmishes. Combat drones and Croan sentinels, armed with plasma rifles and energy blades, challenged their every step. Despite the overwhelming odds, the operatives advanced, their suits' electronic warfare capabilities neutralizing enemy defenses. They reached the central command hub where General Weixer oversaw the battle. The moment was tense. Weixer activated an energy field, intent on symbolizing one final stand. The ensuing clash was a symphony of sparks and willpower, with operatives leveraging their agility against the Croan's brute strength. The confrontation culminated in a blinding haze of energy and metal, and the Verzarn's core systems were compromised. Admiral Harris, monitoring from Earth's command center, saw the flagship's energy readings plummet. With a calculated command, Harris ordered a concentrated barrage from the orbital cannons, targeting the now exposed core. In the vacuum of space, the dreadnought Verzarn erupted, its destruction sending shockwaves through the Croan fleet. The loss of their command ship, and indeed, their esteemed general, struck a decisive blow to Croan morale. The remaining Croan vessels, now leaderless and disoriented, attempted a hasty retreat. Earth's forces pursued them relentlessly, ensuring that no threat lingered. In the immediate aftermath, the skies above Earth were a tapestry of destruction and desolation. Twisted hulks of Croan ships floated aimlessly, remnants of the once fearsome fleet. Earth's forces started the grim task of rescuing survivors and assessing the damage. Cities had been scarred, landscapes altered. The cost of victory was steep. Across the globe, people emerged from shelters, surveying the ruins and mourning the immense loss. Yet, within this devastation lay the seeds of hope. The defeat of the Croan fleet marked a Pyrrhic victory for humanity. The Earth stood scarred, its surface marred by the ravages of war, and its people mourning the heavy price paid. In the immediate aftermath of the battle, there was an eerie, solemn silence that hung over the planet, a moment of collective breath being held, as the world pivoted from reaction to realization. Admiral Harris, a seasoned leader with lines of fatigue etched deeply into his face, called an emergency summit with the world's leaders. They gathered in an underground bunker beneath the remnants of the United Nations headquarters, a place now more symbolic than functional after the war's devastation. The air was thick with the acrid smell of residual fires and the lingering whispers of lost lives. Here, amidst the ruins, strategies for the future needed to be forged. Harris began with a call to unity. The echoes of his voice filled the room, resonating with an urgent, raw determination. He recounted the heroism and sacrifice that had secured this moment of respite and emphasized the ever-present Croan threat. "We stand at a crossroads," Harris declared, his voice unwavering. "We can either let this victory lull us into complacency or rise stronger, unified against the threat that still looms beyond our skies." The response was a unanimous agreement. The leaders of independent nations, now seeing past their differences, shared a common vision. The Croan invaders had awakened a sense of collective identity that transcended borders and ideologies. In this crucible of adversity, humanity found its true strength: unity. Plans were promptly set in motion. Earth's mobilization was swift and resolute. The remnants of war were cleared, and the rebuilding process began with an accelerated pace driven by urgency and necessity. Technicians, engineers, and scientists, who had once been separated by oceans and political boundaries, now worked hand in hand. Their shared goal was to develop even more sophisticated defenses, leveraging the technological advancements unearthed during the conflict. The blueprints for new fleets of spacecraft were conceived, vessels capable of both defending Earth and extending humanity's reach into the cosmos. Orbital defense platforms were envisioned, armed with particle beams and other cutting-edge weaponry. Research initiatives, previously clandestine, became collaborative efforts, pooling the best minds and resources from every corner of the globe. However, the scars of war ran deeper than the physical destruction. Psychological wounds lingered, affecting both soldiers and civilians. The specter of fear haunted those who had witnessed the Croan's brutality firsthand. To address this, a concerted effort was made to heal and strengthen the human spirit. Programs were launched to support mental health, commemorate the fallen, and foster a renewed sense of purpose. Meanwhile, intelligence agencies focused their attention on the Croan remnants. Surveillance satellites and probes were deployed, extending their gaze far beyond the confines of the solar system. It became imperative to understand the extent of the Croan's defeat and their potential for regrouping. Knowledge, it was determined, would be humanity's greatest weapon. Across the galaxy, the Croan Empire licked its wounds in the shadowy recesses of uncharted space. Their once proud armada, a symbol of their dominance, was now reduced to scattered flotillas. The loss of General Weixer, a revered figure among their ranks, struck at the core of the Croan's morale. Yet, in their alien hearts, the fire of vengeance smoldered intensely. The Croan, resilient and unforgiving, began to recalibrate their strategies. New leaders rose from the chaos, their eyes set on retribution. They initiated covert operations, seeking allies among other space-faring civilizations. The embers of a continuing intergalactic conflict flickered to life, hinting at battles yet to come. Back on Earth, life found a semblance of normalcy amidst the newfound vigilance. Children went back to school, cities hummed with the activity of reconstruction, and markets buzzed with commerce. But the sights and sounds were punctuated by reminders of the conflict. A crater here, a memorial there. These symbols served both as markers of loss and beacons of hope. The human spirit had proven to be unyielding. In every corner of the globe, stories of resilience emerged. A farmer turning a bomb crater into a new well for his village, a teacher using the ruins of her school to teach children about bravery and sacrifice, a soldier who had lost his limbs now leading rehabilitation programs for other veterans. These narratives wove a tapestry of indomitable resolve that spurred the collective consciousness forward. Admiral Harris, though weary, stood resolute. His leadership had been forged in the crucible of conflict and now found its purpose in the peace that followed. He spent his days overlooking the newly formed United Earth Defense Council, ensuring that every nation had a voice and that the lessons of the war were never forgotten. He personally reached out to scientists and engineers, encouraging innovation and challenging them to think beyond conventional confines. His nights were spent studying Croan patterns, the vastness of space mapped out in holographic displays across his quarters. The stars above, once mere specks of light, now held the promise of both peril and possibility. As Earth's newfound space fleet began its patrols, a sense of cautious optimism permeated the air. The sheer vastness of space served as a reminder of humanity's small foothold in a vast, often hostile universe. As time wore on, Earth's colonies began to sprout on nearby celestial bodies. Luna Base, the initial bastion of hope on the Moon, expanded rapidly, becoming a hub of scientific discovery and military preparedness. Mars, the red planet, gleamed with the lights of thriving colonies, each one a testament to humanity's indomitable will. These outposts not only served as strategic points of defense but also as symbols of humanity's aspiration to transcend its terrestrial limitations. The Croan raids, although infrequent, kept everyone on edge. Each encounter was analyzed meticulously, leading to innovations in defensive tactics and technologies. Artificial intelligence, once a controversial topic, became the backbone of Earth's defenses. Algorithms predicted Croan movements, drones patrolled vast expanses of space, and automated sentinel platforms guarded key positions. In a particularly bold move, Earth initiated diplomatic missions to other star systems. These missions aimed to forge alliances with civilizations who had either been victims of the Croan or remained neutral in the galactic struggle. Diplomatic envoys, armed with both weaponry and words of peace, traveled through wormholes and stargates, extending humanity's hand in friendship but prepared for conflict. The Croan, bound by their own rigid hierarchies and martial traditions, watched these developments with a mix of disdain and recognition. Humanity had evolved from a singular planetary power to a spacefaring coalition, a transformation that couldn't be ignored. The Croan High Command convened in hidden conclaves, debating strategies and alliances. Their empire was vast, their resources seemingly inexhaustible, and yet the resilience of this young species had shaken their hubris. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.